your girl Brenda.
And hey guys, it's your girl Mo.
Personally, I like my coffee like I like my woman, dark and Nigerian.
I like my coffee like I like writing essays. I don't like coffee.
So yeah, this is just going to be a little visual podcast. You're going to get a glimpse into me and Mo's actual day-to-day conversations. We're going to talk about our experiences as BME women at university, hot topics of the TL,
Yeah.
just what we go through. Basically, you're getting a peek into our DMs. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share to anyone and everyone because we're entertaining.
And yeah, it's opinions, and everyone loves opinions, don't they? So.
And everyone loves a little bit of tea. I've begun to develop this thing where I only knew recently that it's called imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
And basically, for those of you that don't know, it's that kind of thing of you step into a space and you accomplish things or you get to certain places, but then there's this part of you that feels, do I really belong here? Like,
Should I be
almost
here?
feel
She doesn't even go here.
She doesn't even go here. Like, what do you do? Like, and it's so odd because I've only developed that as I've come into uni. Because before, I was that girl that I don't care what you say, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to go where I want to go. I'm going to enter the spaces I want to enter. But since I've come in, I think that has a lot to do with identity. But have you ever had that imposter syndrome, or have you heard it? Or
Yeah, I haven't really dealt with that at uni per se, but however, I do feel like sometimes I have to kind of, I guess English can sometimes be quite elitist in terms of like the academics and who, you know, is right with their kind of like points and arguments and things like that. And sometimes I found, although the essays are anonymized, this is completely anonymized, but one of my essays, I think, one tutor, he commented back, I still got a good mark on the essay, but he said something along the lines of, this doesn't feel like a natural academic voice. He was like, why are you trying so hard to put on a facade, like a mask of being an academic? It sounds like you're trying so hard to write like your, why does your essay read like something that should be in the MLA journal? And I'm like,
because you're trying to get me to write my best work. I mean,
exactly.
Like,
and the thing is, he put so much like positivity like in the first half, and he was like, this is really in depth, like really complex arguments, like these are very nuanced arguments you're making. But then that bit almost like, you're doing too much, like we need you to remain at this undergraduate level, like you're not, you know, big enough, or your voice isn't like validated enough for you to make like such bold statements. And I was like, I did say to him, I was like, well, I'm in my third year now. At what point do I start writing like an academic if I want to go on to do a PhD or I want to go on to do an MRes or anything of that sort? And he was like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was like, I'm not in A-levels anymore. I'm no longer having to go, oh yeah, in Dorian Gray, morality is this, because that is exactly what they expect you to say.
Yeah.
I'm meant to be as like an undergraduate student being like,
independent thought.
Independent thought, exactly. So I did speak to him about that, and he was like, yeah, you know, you're right, yeah, I understand that very well. I was like, yeah, cool, fine. But I think that was the only time I kind of felt a bit destabilised. I was actually quite shocked. And I showed it to my mum. She was like, what is that meant to mean? I said this to my sisters in the group chat. My older sister was like, is he okay? She was like, so what, are they expecting you to write like at a lower level? And so I then found myself, when I was writing the next essay, not wanting to like think too far outside of the box. So that's the only time I've ever really felt like that. Apart from that, no, not really.
But it's really weird, the imposter syndrome thing, because of my upbringing as well plays a large role into it, because I was born with those parents that said, I don't care what anyone says that you can't do, you're going to be able to do it. But it's just really, because I want to go into the legal profession, and again, that is another very elitist, your standard lawyer is your middle class white man. So I find myself walking to spaces, and the legal profession, it's not diverse, but big up some firms, they're all working on it. But it's that thing, I walk into certain spaces, and sometimes I'm one of a handful of black people there. I'm one of a handful of ethnic minorities there, let alone black. And it's that kind of thing of, hold on, did they make an error? Like,
Yeah.
did I just slip through the system? But it's just really, it's a strange thing for me to go through because again, I'm in that, it's that two parts thing where because of my upbringing, I'm like, I'm boss. Like, I'm here for a reason. Like, I know what I've accomplished, but then at the same time, it's like, do I really belong in this space, in these spaces? And I think that's a lot of things that people do struggle with in university. It's that whole identity thing of where do I fit in and where do I belong. So in that kind of sense, everyone just kind of wants to belong somewhere, which is why people love to relate to struggle in university.
Yeah, that is so strange. And I was actually going to ask you, have you ever felt like you've ever overcompensated for the fact that you feel like you're an imposter in your department? Have you ever felt like, you know, an extra pressure to do better so you can
500%.
prove yourself to
500%. It's that kind of thing that I remember when I came in first year, my concept of university was, oh my god, all-nighters, you know, like my friends and you were just like, oh, you're going to struggle to feed yourself, this, that, you're going to stay up. I'm telling you right now, I eat well at uni. The concept of you're going to struggle to feed it, I eat well. It's possible.
First year.
It's possible.
Salmon on my bagels.
Listen, avocado, smoked salmon, and poached egg on a bagel. 10 out of 10.
And then I used to make a iced caramel latte for myself as well on the side.
Struggle is actually, struggle is not by force in uni.
It really is.
I don't know who sold you man those dreams. Struggle is really, really not by force. It's actually, like, struggle porn is a real thing.
It is.
Struggle, I can't lie, I succumbed to it. First year of uni, trust, I don't know what, I wasn't sleeping. I don't know who told me that was okay, because definitely now, if someone told me, Bernard, don't sleep, I'd be like, nah, you must be mad, because it's not me.
It's not me.
I need my sleep, but I think we need to delve into that whole thing of why do people feel like they need to come to, it's almost that thing of, I need to come to uni and struggle.
Yeah.
But really, it's not by force.
You really don't have to. And I think it's actually quite funny because I have my little sister, she's at uni, she's in first year now, and she literally just today, she was snapping like 6:30 a.m, still here in the library writing this essay, doing my references. I just thought to myself, hold on, I'm sure you've had these questions.
Don't drag me.
Wow. Okay, excuse me, I'm dragging myself as well. And I think it's this whole idea that like you come to uni, like you're going to be in the library last minute doing your essay, and I'm not going to lie, like if you come in with that mindset, I've only realised this a bit too late, you know, in my final week of undergraduate study, that like you don't necessarily have to put yourself through so much stress. Like that's why sometimes I don't like going to the library, because you go in and you can literally smell the stress. Everyone's like, oh god, I haven't slept in 3 days. Oh, I've only had like a block of cheese since like 5 days ago. Oh yeah, my essays are really getting to me. And I do completely, that's not me downplaying like the idea that like, you know, there's a lot of pressure. Uni
that's not what we're saying. Uni is hard. Like you do understand. But sometimes, if anyone gets offended in it, it's my personal opinion. But people choose to struggle because it's cool.
Yeah.
It's almost become uni culture to struggle. I understand money is, trust me, money is hard at uni. There's no one that you don't need to tell me that twice. But it's almost cool, like it's become a thing where it's now memed in everything. Like it's really culture to be fiscally irresponsible and my student loan just dropped, so let me just spend half of my student loan on designer stuff as if I do not have to feed myself for the rest of the month. It doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't make
sense.
It
doesn't make sense. And I don't get it. Like, why is it cool to struggle? Because I can't lie, my mom did not carry me for 9 months for me to come onto this earth and start struggling. Okay? It wasn't made for me, but I don't understand why it's cool to struggle, because I'm not gonna lie. I've succumbed to this, like I said, because in first year, there was a bunch of us, we were just like, oh guys, we haven't slept in 3 days. There were times, I didn't sleep for 3 days one time in first year. And I come to second year, I'm just like,
why?
For what reason?
For why?
For what good reason? Because back when I go home, I sleep nice. So why is it when I come to you, it's like, oh yeah, no sleep gang, what's that?
I don't know. And I think there was a thing, especially in first year as well, where people like used to use Snapchat a lot, and they like post like the timestamp. You know, that was when the timestamps came in, and they put the timestamp like 6:03 a.m. and like still up. Can't sleep, insomnia gang. And I literally, like, at times when I'd woken up early and I'd like click through the snaps, like almost like 10 people posting the exact same, like the fact that they can't sleep. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I understand you can't sleep, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of like a lack of acceptance that there's something wrong. First of all, if you can't sleep for, like, if there's an issue with your sleeping, you need to go and see someone. I think there's a thing now where it's like, oh, I've got insomnia, I can't ever sleep.
Insomnia is not cool.
Okay. Insomnia is not cool. It's not a fashion accessory.
I don't know
Trust
who needs to hear
me.
this. Insomnia is not cool.
It really isn't. Like, I suffered with insomnia quite badly actually pre-university, and I actually actively was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't go to uni and not be able to sleep. So herbal remedies, I tried everything. I went to the doctors, and now yes, there may be nights when I may not be able to sleep so much, but I've worked through that. And I think that's a thing now. I don't know whether it's a generational thing where people seem to like kind of like fetishize this struggle. It's like, oh my god, like I haven't slept in a week. Oh yeah, look at me, I can't ever sleep. Like, oh yeah, look at me, I haven't had food in 10 days. I don't know, it's like Struggle Olympics.
It's not the... Listen, I ain't trying to qualify. Struggle Olympics, that's...
No, I was not built for struggle. Do you see me? Do I look like someone who likes to struggle?
All my friends who know me know I always say, this life is for the living.
It's for enjoyment.
It's lavishly, okay?
It's for
enjoyment. I do, like, we're not discounting that. Uni is a time of struggle because you are thrown into a new environment. More time, a lot of people are living by themselves. Not a lot of people live at home from uni. You're in a completely new environment. You're really on your own for the first time in your life. So for that reason, it is a time of struggle. We do understand that. But there are certain decisions you make that can make that struggle a bit easier. Hey guys, so we're back with Royal Holloway's very own BME officer,
Renee.
Hi guys,
Mover,
thanks for having
shaker, me. Beyonce.
Oh.
One half of the extraordinary singing duo, the Landau twins.
Oh, she knows.
She's a baddie. She's a strong woman. She's amazing. She's Renee. So.
Thank you for having me, beautiful lady here.
Stop it.
Always turning up. Gotta compete.
So how you been?
Yeah, I've been good. Very busy. As you guys already mentioned, BME officer. It's a very, very busy life. I mean, meetings practically every week, like multiple meetings. And I'm a PhD student as well, so do I have time in my day? Not really.
What can't she do?
Yeah. This is why I said Beyonce, because she basically does
it all.
Oh, stop it. But yeah, it's a very fulfilling life, so I can't really complain. I do have minimum time, but I feel like I'm using my time effectively, and I think that's the most important thing. If you're going to be very busy, at least try to make an impact in what you're doing and try to work hard at it, try to reap results. That's really what I'm about.
Teach us, sis. Come on.
Honestly, please.
Yeah, we just wanted to chat to you a bit more about your role as BME officer. So what does that entail on a day-to-day?
On a day-to-day, well, I think it's probably best to start off how I even got in the role in the first place, because it's a very unusual story. Honestly, just random guy at the time, but he's no longer random, he's awesome. Random guy at the time just messaged me on Facebook and just goes, yeah, somebody told me about you and you're passionate about, issues to do with racism and discrimination, bias, all that great stuff. And I was like, okay, that's odd. I mean, I write about it in my essays, but only my lecturers see that, so. But anyways, he was just like, they're looking for this role and they don't have one and you'd be great for it. And he doesn't even go to these universities. He's the black student officer of the NUS. So I was like, okay, that's very nice. But anyways, I went and spoke to the representatives at the SU and I was like, okay, what's this role about and whatnot. As soon as they told me the description, I was like, yeah, that is a bit of me. I will do it, no worries. But yeah, on a day-to-day, it can vary extremely. It can be dealing with a case of somebody who's suffering with overt racism in the classroom, or just something more covert around campus, or in their halls of accommodation, to changing policies, which is my favourite thing to do, writing up new policies to kind of change the way Royal Holloway kind of runs at the moment. to planning events, which is actually, no, I'll change my mind. That is my favorite thing to do, planning events. And I have a great support network. I know you girls are a part of it, along with a collective of amazing other Beanie students. And yeah, that's practically my day to day. We have some great things coming in I'm so excited to kind of share it. In the running, we've just done our International Women's Day campaign, which was fantastic. Which again, you guys are a part of. Go check that out. And yeah, just to celebrate, you know, the sort of intersectional oppression between race and gender, which is a major common issue, especially when you're looking outside of university in terms of your career and what you want to do next. And yeah, so I love doing campaigns, I love speaking at events, I love making policies and changing policies. I love sticking up for myself and for the people I represent, even in front of the big boys, shall we say, the principal himself and the vice principal and other people that he sits with. So
that's
good.
Amazing. So you said doing campaigns is your favorite thing. So
Yes.
Listen, you all need to go check the BME Instagram because I've been a part of a couple myself. So I'm so
Drop the app.
Drop the app.
At RHUL_BME.
Literally check it out. The most amazing campaigns, and I've loved being a part of it. I'm sure Mo has too.
Yeah, definitely.
So what would you then say has been your favorite campaign to do?
Ooh, wow. Ooh, that is a big question. Well, I'm a gospel singer, as you guys mentioned. I do a duet with my twin sister, and we tour around the country singing and, you know, ministering, you know, the word of God. And we did a great sort of gospel concert with Emmanuel Smith, who's on The Voice, and some other amazing acts like Freedom and Tonya, and it was great. The atmosphere was amazing. It was electric, and the best thing about it was you didn't have to be Christian or have, you know, be a part of the faith to attend. Various people who weren't really enjoyed themselves. But I've also done other amazing campaigns, which like the mental health photo book, which was, that was really epic, as well as the Black History Month photo book, which was quite a classic style of, you know, imagery and photography as well as history. There's just been so many events, but yeah, they're probably my favourites.
Nah, those are sick. Those are sick. I personally went to the gospel concert as well, and it was amazing. And you raised money for sickle cell, was it?
Yes. And you know what? Like, I mean, it was a great audience size, but I still didn't expect after the event to have risen that much money as we did. I was so shocked. It was just under £200 for like one night. That was amazing. And, you know, sickle cell, the Sickle Cell Society is a charity which I'm extremely passionate about. Yes. I did a campaign because I'm a re-elected officer. So in my first year, I did a campaign where I was giving up like fizzy drinks and snacks and stuff. And I raised about £550. So that just as well as the money from the event, it's like, you know, it's adding up, which is great. So I'm hoping by the end of my term that I can at least make it to 1,000. Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
I can do it. We can do it.
So moving on to like the more challenging parts.
Yes.
I personally have a question, right?
Okay.
This may shake a couple tables.
Oh, go for it, girl.
Every other network on campus is an actual network of people. And
now
I found it very interesting because BME is obviously Black minority ethnic.
Yes.
Renee is obviously Black. So the whole point of the BME network is that, technically speaking, shouldn't it be that Black and minority ethnic voices are represented?
Yes.
Listen, Renee's done a sick job with the thing. But it's that kind of thing of Renee, when it comes down to it, she only genuinely knows the Black experience. Yes. So my question is, how come you're the only network on campus that is one person? Do you know what? I'm so glad you asked me this question. Honestly, I'm so... We have had this conversation. I'm so glad you asked me this question. I think that was the only off-put about the role.
it was like we've been sidelined. I mean, I understand that we have a mental health network. I understand that's very important. We have a disabilities network. We have women's network, LGBT, great networks. And whilst I'm not the only one who's just physically on my own, it's the lack of support from the sort of the SU on my side as well, which they sort of admitted in the first year and tried to work better this year. So, but that is a great question. I believe, as you've stated, I'm a black female. I believe that in the network, sort of working with me, as just as close as me, should be male, an Asian male perhaps. And I think it also leads on to my greatest problem with the actual acronym of BME. People are like, should it be BME? Should it be BAME? Some people are like, it should be, students of colour, but then they have problems with that. In terms of everything, there are issues, and also I have a major issue with the word minority. In numbers it makes sense, but it's sort of a word which I feel is degrading, to be honest. So for so many reasons, I have a problem with the way it's currently being ran. And I would love to have a team, and that's why I wanted to create a WhatsApp group, which we have created to have, so we can have close calls that people can just freely speak, say what they want, they know exactly what's going on, so they kind of feel like they are just as much in this network as I am, trying to run it with me. I get ideas and stuff like that, but I'm so glad you asked me that.
So on that note, break them glass ceilings, push down those boundaries.
Shake them tables.
Shake those tables.
I've been your girl Brenda.
I've been your girl Mo.
It's Renee.
And we'll see you next time.